Kurek, you have been described as an inarticulate kid from Chicago who never read a book and thought that he would be dead by the age of 21. Can you talk a little bit about those times, about the poverty and how you discovered this new foundational belief in yourself at an early age, which led you to leading an extraordinary life in Hollywood?
Well, I always thought that I was going to live a tragic life, like a James Dean. And probably because they were the same people I looked up to. And, coming from a troubled childhood in Chicago and challenges and, my family was not really supportive of me because I was the weird one. I've always been the weird one. So I left for Hollywood when I was 18 years old, got there. Thought I was going to be discovered in probably 3 weeks because I had like $300 in my name when I got there, and I didn't actually get my first acting job for 3 years. So there was a lot of really deep poverty, like eating 2 meals a week, and no TV, living in a really bad neighborhood. Then I got a job at a health club, and I met a guy named John Herzfeld, who just happens to be, in those days, he was Sylvester Stallone's roommate in college at the University of Miami, and John had just won his Emmy. And, so being a wannabe actor, meeting his movie director, anything he basically told me I was willing to do. And he really became my Mr. Miyagi. And so in 1980, I was 18 years old, and he forced me to read Think and Grow Rich, because I had never read a book before. And John, not only would he make me read the book, he would call me up from the studios and say, "What page you on?" I'd say, 26. He goes, "What's happening?" And I'd make something up. He goes, "You're lying." I'll get home and I'll give it to you. And I don't know how that guy knew when I was lying and when I wasn't. And he would make me look up 2 vocabulary words every day, write down the words in a book. And because he loved me so much and cared about me so much, he forced me to grow. And he also said that knowledge brings wisdom, and wisdom's power. And because I believed in him and I looked up to him, he was my idol. He changed my life. Uniquely, John has the exact same birth date, not year, as my father, and really became my surrogate father, even though I had a wonderful father. John was just that guy that I looked up to and listened to, and it changed my life because he started the hunger for personal development for me.
Kurek, you lost your very close friends on the set of Delta Force 2. Could you please talk about that time and the effects of depression, how you cope with it, and the sabotage with drugs, which spiraled out for you to the point where you had yourself at gunpoint?
Well, I had just finished the movie Lock-Up with Sylvester Stallone, one of my all-time idols. And then I get a call to go to the Philippines to shoot Delta Force 2 with Chuck Norris. So here I am, literally, probably in the highlight of my life. I'm 27 years old. I'm going from one big budget picture right up to another big budget picture, from one iconic idol of mine to the next iconic idol of mine, Chuck Norris. And because not only did I work in front of the camera, I also worked behind the camera as a crew member. So I was basically a grip. And so when I got to the Philippines, to my surprise, some of my very best friends were on the set, including my best friend, Mike Graham, who was the key grip, Don Marshall, the lighting director, Jeff Brewer, who was a stunt guy, who was actually Pierce Brosnan's stunt double. So he's such a good-looking guy that you look at Jeff, and as a male, you go, "Man, did I get ripped off?" I mean, look at how good-looking this guy is. And, being in the Philippines and working on a movie was awesome. And every time I got in a helicopter, I made an extra amount of money, an extra, I think it was an extra $100 or something, or $400 for every flight. So we're just ching-ching, ringing up the cash. And we were shooting on top of a mountaintop. It's the end of a week. Mike and I are already planning on hanging out with Chuck and drinking beer and having fun in Manila. I've done hairy stunts in the helicopter all day long. All we have to do is go up 15 feet, shoot 2 lines of dialogue, chopper come back down on top of them, and it's a big palatial mansion out there in grounds, and we're on our way to having a great weekend. I'm sitting in a helicopter, I'm in a doorway, I have the M60 machine gun between my legs. camera is there with the cameraman. Mike's just over my shoulder. He's there just to secure the camera crew. We go up about 2 feet and we're hovering, and I notice the cameraman shifts the camera, and I can tell I'm not being photographed anymore. So I just asked him, I said, you got me in frame? And he said, nope, you're out. If you want, step out of the helicopter. So I was like, all right, I got 10 more weeks on the film. Not a big deal. It's not a big hairy stunt or some fun flying. And so I step out, another stunt guy steps out, chopper goes up 15 feet. Drifts out over the edge of the mountain, and the engine shuts off. There's a mechanical malfunction. And I still go back. And